Hey, 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 happy holidays. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang, and happy holidays. Welcome back to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. So welcome aboard. Tonight is Monday, December 12th, 2022. This is live stream 862. If this is your first time joining me, let me point out, super casual around here. Just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then we take a look at a game. And tonight will be no different. We are actually going to unbox and take a first look at Dog Park, which is from Birdwood Games. So we are going to dive on in and take a peek at this in just a bit. Of course, if you are not familiar with the Gaming Gang Dispatch, we do tackle the tabletop gaming news first. So if you're watching live and you're looking to get a peek at Dog Park, relax, put your feet up, kick back. We'll be taking a peek in about 35 minutes or so, would be my guesstimate. But of course, also should let you know, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find here on the YouTube channel. And of course, this is a live stream, so that means there's chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And of course, you do need to be a subscriber to the channel for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. But maybe you got, say, a question or a comment or something about Dog Park you want to get a closer look at, or maybe you just want to say howdy. By all means, chime in and I will do my best to respond. So chat is off and running. First out the gate tonight was the Motor City Madman himself. Yes, that's right. Non-Ted Nugent, the Madman, is with us. He is one of our chat moderators. Followed up by Mr. Eddie T, another of our chat moderators. Stray Kismet is with us. Sarah D, the third of 4 chat moderators. Rapscallion J, Coco B is with us. Kabuki Kid is hanging with us. That's right. Double K's in the house. We also have Dante Viper Brandolini, who I believe might be a first-time visitor in chat because that nickname does not ring a bell. Kathy Evans is with us. Flaming Heron, we're 4 for 4 with our chat moderators. And I think I have said hello to everybody. So chat is off and running. Very nice. Very nice. So before I jump into the news, I did want to share something that was sent along to me by the fine folks over at Funko. That's right. Every once in a while, I share some Funko goodies. And they actually have, incredibly enough, an advent calendar featuring The Office. Yes, that's right. It is an advent calendar featuring characters from The Office, and they are part of the Pocket Pop line. And why is that second thing popping up here? You don't want that. What is the deal there? That's weird. It's been so long since I used this little news item here. There we go. Bring that back. I thought I just had one image set up. Turns out it's something from probably like 2 years ago. So it's like, okay. Dante says, as a first timer, go easy on them. We're pretty cool around here. We don't really beat anybody up too much. Yes, Flaming Heron says the slide got loose. That's right. No, that's okay. They've all been deleted now. So Dante also mentions loves the hat. I'm not sure if you're talking about my hat. I think I'd be the only person with a hat. This is actually from a local school in the suburb I live in, and it's actually a very cool hat. That's why I picked it up. I have had nothing to do with the school. So Dante also points out it's Monday Night Football and they're here. Yeah, well, I know. So yes, Dante says, yes, my hat. Well, thank you very much. Anyway, so Funko sent me this advent calendar and it arrived today. So I think they were having some problems getting it out. But I did want to share the advent calendar with you, and I will actually open up some of the windows live on the shows this month. So let's swing on over to the other camera because here I've got the good old advent calendar. So, and of course, I love the fact that UPS smashed the box. The outer box had this, like, it's like they kicked this stuff. They have like iron-toed boots. They kicked the boxes. In fact, I had a few packages arrive today, and 2 of the items were damaged, this being one of them. So I think the other one was something that's damaged that was just sent for review, which is fine. I have no issue with that at all, because it's an RPG book and it's got a little dent. So what are you supposed to do? Throw that away? Come on. So this is the advent calendar. And I guess it opens up and it's supposed to lay out, and this is supposed to sit flat, and then this stands up. And then you open up the little windows to reveal who you've got. So let me show you who we've got already. So in order of appearance. Okay, so I should point out, if you're interested in picking this up, you might want to like walk away for a few moments, because I'm going to ruin the surprise of what's in the first 12. So first off, we've got Michael Scott. So he was number 1. So he is our number 1 pocket pop. Then we've got Jim Halpert. We've got Pam Beasley, to be precise. And then I was kind of surprised we jumped to check out Daryl as our next pop, because he's not, well, he becomes a major character, which personally I love when they move Craig Robinson upstairs into the office with everybody. I love his character, and I think Craig Robinson's hysterical in all things. But I was kind of surprised to see that we get Daryl Philbin as early as we did. Next up, we've got Oscar Martinez. And surprisingly enough, it took this long for us to get to Dwight Schrute. There is our Dwight Schrute here. Then we have good old Stanley Hudson. As you can tell, I am a big fan of The Office, so I thought this was pretty cool, uh, especially when it was offered to me from the fine folks over at Funko. Then we've got Angela Martin, who is squeezing a little kitty. I think that's kind of funny. She's got a little kitty cat. Just like if it's real hard to see because these are so small, because these are actually miniaturized pops of the standard size, right? But Dwight actually has his little pager that he would wear all the time. All right, then we've got Andy Bernard. There's good old Andy Bernard with the banjo. Omanal's with us in chat. Good to see you, Omanal, pointing out that they only watched the British Office. So did I. And funny enough, when they announced that they were going to do The Office here in the US, I thought, oh God, it is going to be God awful. And to be honest, the first episode was kind of a remake of one of the early episodes of The Office, the BBC version, and it was like, ugh. So thankfully they decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna make this our own thing and not just remake episodes of the British edition. So then we've got Phyllis Vance, married to Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration. And then number 12 is a Dundee. So we got the Dundee there. All right. So let's move these out of the way, and then we are going to take a look to see what is in. Actually, I cheated. I opened the 12th. Today is the 12th. So it was the Dundee. I wasn't even thinking. Figured out I'll just catch up. So Fleming Heron says, ran out of cast members. No, there's actually quite a few. So there are 24 inside this box. So there are some major characters that are still out there. We've got Toby. We've got Meredith. We have Creed, obviously enough. And we also have, trying to think, who is the heavy guy who's like the drummer no, I think he's a keyboardist. Kevin, that's it. Kevin Malone. For some reason I couldn't think of it. All right. Anyway, so there we go. That is a look at The Office. So tomorrow I will pull this out to start off the show. Oh, wait a second. No, I haven't looked at 12. Sweet. I don't know. I'm cracking up. It's been a super busy day, crazy day. Here we go. Gonna open up the window 12 here. And we're gonna pull this out, see who we've got. I think I can guess. I think I can see through the plastic a little bit. And I think it's Meredith. No, it's not. think I think this is supposed to be Aaron. That's kind of surprising. Or no, wait, is it? No, it can't be. That's got to be Meredith. Although she looks kind of normal. She looks pretty normal there. So, real quick, funny story about the actress who played Phyllis. So, Phyllis was actually a person working in casting for The Office, and she would actually read with the various different actors who were auditioning, and it turned out They loved her. So that's how she got the part of Phyllis. I don't think she's appeared in anything since. So that's pretty wild. Pretty wild. All right. Anyway, so that is the advent calendar, the office advent calendar from Funko. So tomorrow we will take a look at the 13th and see what we get with that. And I should point out it carries an MSRP of $60, which for 24 mini pops, it's not really a bad price. But I actually just stumbled upon NBC.com. Yes, the network NBC.com. In their store, they have this for like $39.95. So like a full third off, and they'll get it delivered to you. I think it said by the 15th, which is about as quick as Amazon can get it to you for $57.95. And once again, it's got an MSRP of $60. So tomorrow we will take a peek to see what the 13th shall bring us. As a fan of The Office, I got a kick out of this. So I'm sure plenty of folks out there are going to be like, I hope Jeff's going to make sure to put a timestamp in here so I can skip past that. So there is some discussion of some various Funko Pops. So Jason Mountain is with us. Welcome aboard. Thanks for swinging on in. So we got chat off and running. I think I've said hello to everybody except for Russell Higgins and Doug Roberts. Hello, gents. Welcome aboard. Do want to ask real quick, because I know that Coco B was in chat, if Coco B has heard anything about that package that I sent, because I have heard nothing. And I have reached out, I just reached out 3 days ago again to UPS. Yes, damn you, UPS. I reached out 3 days ago still and heard nothing back. So I don't know. I have no idea. Nope, Coco B says nothing. All right. I will see what I can do. There is actually, I don't think they can really do much, but there is a UPS store that's not far from me. I'll drive over there and see what I should be doing. So maybe they can give me an idea. And I know they're going to say, oh, call such and such phone number. But at least maybe they can kind of give me a leg up. All right, let's jump on into the news because I've got a pretty eclectic mix of items tonight. First off, HeidelBAR Games is releasing the family card game Tales on Fire in Q1 2023. Here's the scoop. One night, Iguana decided to secretly leave the village and take the fire with him. Iguana had always coveted the fire, and now he wanted to have it all to himself. After all, he had guarded it often enough. Iguana took the fire to his hiding place at the entrance of a cave high up near the top of the mountain. When the villagers noticed the theft, they gathered frantically. In the distance, they could see the light of the fire in the sky as they held out in the darkness. Gradually, more and more voices rose up, demanding that the fire be taken back. Crow and Toad were the loudest among them, but the people also longed for the fire back. So a plan was made to bring back the fire without being discovered by Iguana. A possum set out to bring the fire back to the world, tricked Iguana, and ran off with his tail on fire. At least that's how the Chol of Mexico tell it. Tales on Fire is an interactive card game in which the ever-changing selection of the best 3 playing cards for a round leads to a permanent dilemma, creating a unique gaming experience. This challenging game with easy-to-learn rules is the smart work of German author Thomas Sellner. Set in a tale of Mexico's indigenous Huichol people, Tales on Fire is a fascinating composition of Mexican art, Huichol history, and a super cute possum group. brought to life by Mexican artist Mayra Guadalupe O- Ornelas Ramos. Sorry, I'm sure I've mispronounced the indigenous people's name, and unfortunately, probably the artist's name as well. Tales on Fire is a permanent playing card hunt for the next and the hottest fire. Before a round, each player looks at which fire card in which value is to be won in the current display, and which fire he might be able to steal from the other players. Accordingly, a player then chooses her three hand cards with which she wants to play the current round. In the following game round, player has to stay permanently in the game by playing a card with a number increased by 1. You can sit out and bluff, but whoever remains last in a round of Tales on Fire gets the fire with the last card played, and thus the hot points. But watch out. Already in the next round, someone could take the fire away from you again if he or she wins a fire with the same card value. Just as the opossum once tricked iguana, players in Tales on Fire must outwit each other, not just once, but anew in every round. So it's a matter of being clever and unpredictable. Tales on Fire is for 2 to 6 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 20 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of around $14.99 when it arrives early next year. I like the artwork quite a bit with this. And nice, light family card game it appears to be. But to me, the big selling point of this is the artwork. Definitely like the artwork a lot. So, Flaming Heron says, speaking of parcels going astray, they returned a delivery that went across half the country when the business was in the same state. Typical postage companies. Oh, yeah, I just had a package arrive today that was sent from Indianapolis. Now, I'm outside the Chicago area. So I drive to Indianapolis all the time for Gen Con. From here, it's about 3 hours. So it's about 180 miles or so. So, of course, the package went from Indianapolis all the way out west, then to Iowa, and then here. I was like, what? All righty. Moving right along, there is a very interesting looking historical board game, which is arriving in early 2023 from our friends over at GMT Games. And I've got the latest on Banish the Snakes. Legend has it that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland. True, there are no snakes anywhere on the island, but there have been none since before the last ice age. The legend is actually an allegory about his successes in converting Ireland to Christianity. Banish the Snakes is a solitaire and or cooperative game that simulates Ireland in the 5th century while the Roman Empire was collapsing in the West and Ireland was turning to the Christian religion. Players represent saints, Patrick, and others, up to 6 of you, who set out to convert the pagans on the island. You must work as a team to convert the people of Ireland before the barbarians completely overwhelm Britain. If you fail, the Irish will not be able to save civilization in the following centuries. If you are not familiar with that story, you should look that up. There's actually a very good book that's probably 30 years old now, How the Irish Saved Civilization. I actually have a copy of it upstairs. The game board shows a map of Ireland in the 5th century with 4 provinces, same as today, but no counties yet. Wooden tiles represent the people, druids, chiefs, and kings, and of course the High King at Tara. It is your job to break into the interrelated influences between these groups of people and get your new ideas accepted. Each turn, a card is drawn, throwing new challenges at your team. The severity of the event is determined by the previous card, so no 2 games can ever play the same. Cards introduce events and ideas of the time, new saints, and historic figures like Neil of the Nine Hostages. There's a diagram of Great Britain to keep track of the steady decline of Roman civilization in Great Britain. As different parts of Britain succumb to the barbarians, more and more difficult challenges are added to the deck until finally Britain is completely overwhelmed, cutting off Ireland from the continent and ending the game. If you succeed in your endeavor, Christianity will thrive in Ireland while paganism overruns Western Europe. The arts, writing, literature, and history will flourish on the Emerald Isle. Soon, Irish missionaries will bring these civilizing attributes back to Great Britain and mainland Europe. As Thomas Cahill says in his book, which I just mentioned, The Irish Will Save Civilization. That is not the name of the book. Sorry, GMT Games. That is not the title of the book. It is How the Irish Saved Civilization. Just noticed that. I'm like, oh, wait a second. But if you fail, civilization will be lost forever. Banish the Snakes is for a single player, but as I mentioned, can be played cooperatively with up to 6 total players. I would say it's for ages 14 and up, plays in around 90 to 120 minutes. I'm curious about that time because look at that. That's a lot of game there. I don't know if it's going to play in 2 hours, but it does sound very, very interesting. It's going to carry an MSRP of $59 when it arrives early next year. But right now, you can still score this at the P500 pre-order price of $41, which in my opinion sounds like a steal. Gotta say, this looks very interesting. So I gotta be honest, my dad would probably be very interested in taking a look at this because he's a very devout Catholic. I personally am not, but still find this very, very intriguing. GMT has quite a few, I don't want to say off the wall, but lately they've had quite a few very unique looking games fund on the P500. Charioteer as an example. And yes, that does kind of fall into a war gamer sort of vibe, but it's supposed to be a little more abstract. So I'm hoping to see that. Hopefully get a chance to check that out. So Kabuki Kid says GMT has been getting a lot more experimental with their choices. Yes, they really have. And in some ways, they've kind of looked at different ways to bring new gamers into, if not necessarily wargaming, historical simulations. And very, very pleased to see that as well. So let's move on into some role-playing game news because there is a current bundle of holding that features the first and second editions of Shadowrun back when it was FASA as opposed to Catalyst Game Labs. Anyway, here's the deets on the deal. Scan this, chummer. This all-new Shadowrun 1E/2E Mega Bundle presents digital rulebooks, source books, and adventures for the first 1989 and second 1992 editions of Shadowrun, the cyberpunk fantasy tabletop role-playing game, now from Catalyst Game Labs. The year is 2050. Magic has returned, and creatures of myth and legend walk among us as megacorps bleed the world dry. You're a shadow runner, a deniable asset, a corporate pawn using bleeding edge science and magic to make your meat body and mind better than flesh. Stay on the edge, and you may survive another run on the mean sprawl streets. This mega bundle brings you more than 3 dozen PDFs from the dawn of the sixth world for an unbeatable bargain price. For just $19.95, you'll get all 13 first edition titles in the 1E collection that has a retail value of $98 as DRM free PDFs, including the complete Shadowrun first edition core rulebook, as well as the supplements. 4 rules expansions: the first edition Grimoire, Rigger Black Book, Shadow Tech, and Virtual Realities. There are 6 Sixth World setting guides, Corporate Shadow Files, the Neo Anarchist Guide to North America, Paranormal Animals of North America, the Seattle Source Book, and Shadow Beat and Sprawl Sites. The Landmark Adventures Harlequin and Universal Brotherhood are also included. And if you pay more than the current threshold price of $43.64, you'll level up and also get the entire 2E collection with 24 second edition titles worth an additional $186, including the Shadowrun second edition core rulebook, which I gotta be honest, I don't think has been available in PDF before, or at least legally in PDF. You also get these supplements: 5 rules expansions, Cyber Technology Fields of Fire, Rigger 2, Street Samurai Catalog 2nd Edition, and Virtual Realities 2.0. 6 Sixth World source books with the Corporate Security Handbook, Neo Anarchist Guide to Real Life, Paranormal Animals of Europe, Portfolio of a Dragon, Dunkenslan's Secrets, Threats, and the Underworld Sourcebook. And you'll get 7 location guides: Aztlan, California Free State, Germany Sourcebook, Target, Smuggler Havens, Target, UCAS, Tir Nanog, and Tir Tangrir. Tangire? I don't know. I think that's a fictional place. You also get 5 second edition adventures: Bug City, Harlequin's Back, Missions, Shadows of the Underworld, and Super Tuesday. These early Shadowrun titles from 1989 to 1997 are image scans of the original hard copies. That means sometimes text is a little fuzzy, but it's always readable. OCR has been applied to all of these titles, except for the Seattle Sourcebook and Underworld Sourcebook. These savings run through December 21st. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. Ta-da! I gotta say, that is a sweet deal. Now, this is back in the day when I actually picked up Shadowrun books. And as Coco B points out, they like the Shadowrun setting. So did I. And they point out they would use other rules to play. That's what I thought too. So I was like, huh. So Kabuki Kid says, rest in peace, Kim Mohan. Apparently he died. I got to be honest, I am not familiar who Kim Mohan is. So I don't know. Possibly one of the creators of Shadowrun? Maybe? Okay, so I have a little bit of a beef here with Bundle of Holding. So right now, I think I gotta say I believe it's the last 3 bundles that I have shared with you. A portion of that sale, 10%, is going to the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. I'm sort of like, really? Seriously? So, and I have absolutely nothing against the award program. But what they do is they provide all expense paid trips for emerging game designers, usually RPGs, to attend Gen Con to promote their product. Okay, well, that's very nice. I'm sorry, but I'm used to seeing 10% of the payment going to a real charity. Now, I don't think the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program, I know it's real, but I mean, it's not helping people in need. It's providing all expense paid trips. So, like, come on, guys, what's going on here? I'd rather see him just say, direct relief. At least that's a pandemic related charity. So, I don't know. So, Kim Mohan was a D&D author. So, Kabuki Kid points out they were the editor of Dragon Magazine around issue 45. I think I was already off board by then. Dungeoneer Survival Guide, Wilderness Survival Guide. Oh, I'm sorry, that's what it was. Wilderness Survival Guide. Yeah, no wonder I'm not familiar with the name. Of course, obviously there's tons of role-playing game designers of note that I'm just not necessarily aware of, simply because I didn't get involved with their, systems and things like that. But yeah, that's too bad. I always hate hearing when really anybody passes away. So Omanal says, yeah, they thought it was a weird charity too. They'd rather give to the homeless and those going hungry. Yeah, I know. Like I said, I thought it was very weird. Like whenever they do a bundle for like Goodman Games stuff, we always have it's the like San Francisco Marin County Food Bank. So I'm like, hey, that's a worthy cause. Thanks. Excellent. Yeah, all expense paid trip for an emerging game designer. But don't let that dissuade you from checking out this bundle, because this is a rocking deal back when Shadowrun was just emerging and it was super hot. This was another one of those games that other companies got pissed about because, for one, they had so much content that was out there. It was, there was only so much space on the game store shelves. And this was occupying a lot of it alongside a lot of Vampire the Masquerade. On to the next news piece. Free League Publishing has released the latest adventure compendium for Lawson. Here's what I know about Seasons of Mystery. In this module, you'll find 4 spine-tingling cases for Lawson, Nordic horror role-playing. This book contains 4 standalone mysteries, one for, you guessed it, each season of the year. In these pages, you're going to find a dance with death. Travel to the green vales of Dalarna in the springtime to investigate strange events in a remote village. Fireheart. During the summer heat wave of the century, journey south to the ironworks of Herod and confront a fearsome adversary. The Devil on the Moor. On the autumnal moors of Denmark, find yourselves in a struggle between the ways of old and the designs of modernity. And then finally, we've got A Winter's Tale. Cross the Baltic Sea and brave the wintry forests of Ingria, where an unknown being stalks the night beneath glittering stars. Right now, the 98-page PDF is available over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. And I should point out that the actual physical book is available as well, because it arrived earlier today from Free League Publishing. And I do not know what the MSRP on this is. I'm going to take a guess. It's $39.99. That's about what we usually will see with Free League Publishing and the PDF pricing from their physical books. So interesting. So we're going to talk about this a little bit later. This was the book that's damaged. It's got like a ding straight across the cover and back cover also, which is fine. Like I said, I don't mind when publishers send me, review copies of stuff with little dings and dents. I'd rather have them send me that than, have a paying customer receive it and be like, hey, what? What? So we got some other stuff we're going to talk about too, because I'm going to let you vote on what we're going to take a peek at this week, because I've got a few options for us. All right. Moving right along, Shan from Taiwan is with us. Welcome back. Good to see you. Make yourself at home. Well, make yourself at home, but don't go rummaging through my fridge. All right? All right. Talking about the good old Zaki dice or Zachi dice or Zaki dice. I know Kabuki Kid is always giving us the correct pronunciation, but I hear like a dozen different ways about those Zaki dice. Of pronouncing them, I should say. All right, final news piece, now available in PDF, is the Archive of the Empire Volume 3. I know Flaming Heron thought I was going to be sharing this last week. This is for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. I've got the skinny from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Archives of the Empire Volume 3 is a diverse collection of fascinating articles. This time, Isabella turns her attention to the activities of merchants and the folk worship common to many rural corners of the empire. Several minor faiths are explored in new detail and forgotten beliefs brought under scrutiny. The archive contains legitimate business enterprises, a guide to setting up a business enterprise in the empire with detail on how to make a profit and grow from humble beginnings to a mighty concern. The cult of Hendrik, god of trade. Merchants throughout the old world seek Hendrik's blessing in their deals, but his cult is a new one, and his priests are rarely encountered outside of Marienburg. Folk worship and hedge magic. The beliefs and traditions of those who live in the rural areas of the empire are given scrutiny. The old faith is a tradition the ancient folk who lived before the coming of Sigmar, and which has now faded in relevance and power. The practice of hedge magic is described in detail, with several new spells, minor gods, such as Cain, are discussed. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Deity. There's also the cult of Sulcan, god of vengeance. Whilst he is mostly forgotten, this deity, whose puritanical creed is too stringent and uncompromising for most folk, Sulcan promises aid to those who seek to wreak divine retribution. Then the cult of Rhea, goddess of fertility. Beseeched by those who till the soil and tend the sheep, Rhea may seem a distant deity by the folk of the Empire cities, but in the country, to understand her ways often makes the difference between life and death. There are also rules, updates, and additions. The archive also includes new rules for different designs of armor, more minor magical effects, animal familiars for witches and wizards, updated starting skills and talents for characters from the various districts of Altdorf, and Lord HeidelBAR Itzel, quixotic champion of the Jungfreud case. Archives of the Empire 3 provides another varied yet thematic collection of articles to add depth and variety to your games of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. The 94-page PDF is available right now over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. So Kabuki Kid says, yes, it's pronounced Zaki. See, I finally learned to pronounce it correctly. So Flaming Heron says that they don't mind getting dinged books too. Yeah, it's a lot of times as Flaming Heron points out, it's not the publisher's fault. A lot of times it's the shipping company or post office or whoever who treats the packages as if they were dog shit on their shoe that needed to be scraped off. Flaming Heron also points out that Cubicle 7 Entertainment is responsible for the hole in his wallet. What can I tell you? They got good stuff. And my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment. And they produce a lot of cool stuff. Although, I am going to point out those last two news pieces. Personally, I think, once again, just my opinion, I think PDFs under 100 pages should not be $19.99. Just me. And I get it. Art isn't free. And no, I do not want to see AI art in my Cubicle 7 Entertainment releases. I don't want to see it in my Free League Publishing releases, but still. So, Omanal points out there were so many games on sale for Black Friday, they almost tapped out on games that they wanted. You know, the funny thing is, now maybe role-playing games was different, but in fact, I had mentioned this when I did the Cyber Monday show, that I didn't see a lot of really good deals on board games on Black Friday. Cyber Monday had some sweet deals. So always keep your eyes peeled. See what's cooking. All right, that is the news for tonight. Of course, just talking about Drive-Thru RPG, don't forget the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit, say, Drive-Thru RPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a small portion of that sale. Also, if you are visiting a different One Bookshelf site other than Drive-Thru RPG, you can certainly still use our banner ads. And when you get to Drive-Thru RPG, look to the lower left and you will see a listing of all the various One Bookshelf sites. Click there and it will still keep our affiliate code in the process. So very nice. Also, if you like this video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you just like what we do, by all means, you can always stop by paypal.me/thegaminggang and making a small donation. And tip of the cap to all of you out there, including the madman who utilizes the banner ads and or visits paypal.me. It is much appreciated. Don't forget, I also have about 125 used games still on sale. If you want to check those out, you can pop on over to gaminggang.com and you'll notice I've got a little ad box that says used games for sale. So there you go. Omanal points out the trick is getting board games that their son will play. It helps them keep those Kickstarters in check. I could see. Okay, so you may recall I had pointed out that I was going to try my best to start giving away. Got a lot of stuff all over the place in here. So I'm just kind of moving things so I can grab other stuff. So you may recall I'm going to do my best to give away more PDFs to people who tend to watch this show. Because there had been, I don't want to say complaints, but there were some comments regarding the giveaways I do for the D&D books that come out. Almost always go to strangers, I guess, or first timers. And it's just a random thing. But I had mentioned that if I can do it, if I can pull off giving away PDFs of some of the role-playing games that we take a look at or I review, I would do so. So last Wednesday, we took a look at Into the Odd Remastered from Free League Publishing. And I said, hey, you know what? Comment. I gave an item that's a topic that people could share a comment about. And I would give away a PDF of Into the Odd Remastered. And the winner is Wraithing, who is somebody who checks out the show, does not normally get to watch live, I don't in fact, I don't think I've ever seen them pop in live, but they do watch, do comment quite a bit. And it was just randomly chosen, but that is our winner of the PDF of Into the Odd. So, Raything, do me a favor, shoot an email to Jeff McAleer at thegaminggang.com from the email address that is affiliated with your YouTube account. So I'm taking a peek here. Omanel says the audience doesn't get any stranger than this chat. I don't know. I don't think chat's usually that bizarre. I don't think it's very strange, usually. I don't know. Sometimes I don't get a chance to really pay attention to it because I'm sharing the news and I might glance. That's why when you see me go like that, that's me glancing over at chat to see what's going on. So Doug says, this chat's awesome. Yeah. It's like, Omanel says, yes, this chat is awesome. We are strange. We're not that strange. We're unique. Huge difference. All right. So one other item that I do want to mention. Wow, this is a long show already. Jeez. It's like, damn. It's like, yeah, we're going to take a look at Dog Park in about 35 minutes. We're like 51 minutes in. Almost to it. We're almost there. I apologize. But, if this is the first time you're checking out the show, this is kind of how we roll. It's live, right? We're just hanging out. We're having fun. So, also wanted to mention, I have received some emails from folks asking, why haven't I reviewed the Blade Runner starter set or core book yet? It's coming out. Well, the reason is there's an embargo. I am embargoed until tomorrow to share my review of the Blade Runner starter set, as well as the Blade Runner core book. So that is why you have not seen any reviews. And lately, Free League Publishing has been putting some embargoes on their reviews. So don't read anything into it where it's like, crappy movie. It's like, yeah, well, we didn't show it to any reviewers until the movie came out. So Doug Roberts is asking, did we have intermission tonight? We have not had intermission tonight because I think it's time for a brief intermission right now.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
He might not know what to do with all the crazy gifts he'll get this Christmas, but he'll sure know what to do with Old Spice cologne or an Old Spice nautical decanter or one of our many Old Spice gift sets. Old Spice. He'll use it, enjoy it, and love you for it.
Come on, everyone, it's time. Hello, I'm Orville Redenbacher. This is my favorite time of the year, when we Redenbachers get together to share the best of the season. Of course, we pop up plenty of my light and fluffy gourmet popping corn and my gourmet microwave popping corn.
Ready?
You'll say they're the season's best, or I'm not.
Redenbacher.
Great grandpa to you. May your holiday be the best there is.
Have some Wilkins coffee, sir?
If that's all you serve, I'll get off at the next town.
Next town's 5 miles, straight down.
The action men from Bonanza. The Cartwrights, the greatest Western toys ever. Little Joe, fastest left-handed draw in the West. Ben, the toughest pioneer who ever rode the plains. And Hoss, always ready for a good fight. You can even get the outlaw, the meanest desperado you ever saw.
Watch out! He's getting away! Hit him, Hoss! Pow! You got him!
And you can get the trailblazing 4-in-1 Bonanza wagon. Each Cartwright comes complete with over a dozen accessories. Each horse has action ooze. You can buy Little Joe's Pinto, Hoss's Stallion, and Ben's Big Buckskin. The action men from Bonanza will put you right in the Wild West. By American Character, the hottest brand around.
The action men of Bonanza. Fortunately, they left out one of the sons. So what does that mean? Ben Cartwright had 3 sons. 3, not 2. And the Desperado doesn't even get a name. It's just Desperado. That's kind of funny. Kind of funny. I have to laugh also about the Old Spice commercial. It's like, he'll know what to do with this. Yeah, throw it in the trash. When I was in my teens, my grandmother on my mom's side used to always, one of our gifts that we would get, it would be one of those, cologne packages with the soap and things like that. My brother would always get Old Spice, which was all right. There are some women out there who love Old Spice because it smells like daddy. No joke, that is really why. But I would always get English leather. Man, awful. And it'd be like, yeah, okay. All right. Kabuki Kid is asking, do you even know who Graham Greene is? I mean, Lorne Green? I don't know. Oh, maybe. Okay, sorry. It's a scene from Donnie Darko, which I have not seen. I know. It's just a movie that No. Oh, there you go. Jason Mountain. Thank you. Stetson. I got that one year too. Just as bad as the English leather. Tessie Trekkie, by the way, is with us in chat. Howdy, howdy. All right. So tonight, I am going to be unboxing and taking a first look at Dog Park from Birdwood Games. It is designed by Lottie and Jack Hazel, with artwork provided by Kate Avery, Holly Exley, and Dan May. Game is for 1 to 4 players, ages 10 and up. Plays in around 40 to 80 minutes. Does carry an MSRP of $59.99. There are also, I believe, a couple of small expansions that are available for Dog Park as well. But we're going to be taking a look at what I do believe is going to be the standard edition. And why haven't we moved to the right? Oh, I tell you, when I went and swapped things around so we could take a look at the advent calendar, it's like, okay, things are a little screwy here. Take a look real quick. All right, let's do that. We will do that. So here I've got Dog Park. Let's take a look at the back here. So, of course, I do want to point out the fine folks over at Birdwood Games were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the gaming gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share coverage of this game with you. And these days, it's important that you know that. Let's see. As local dog walkers, you and your friends are trying to set tails wagging by taking the neighborhood pups on a trip to the dog park. Over 4 rounds, you'll have the chance to earn the reputation of the best dog walker around by adding dogs to your kennel, walking them through the park, and navigating your fellow walkers and their pups along the way. Choose your dogs and routes carefully to earn the best reputation, win the game, and prove you are the most accomplished walker of all. Yes, Doug Roberts points out, high karate. Tessie Trekkie also Brute. Yeah, that was another classic. I think Brute was probably better than High Karate, though. I got to be honest. I think High Karate was the absolute worst. It's like, oh, so I understand this is toilet water, but this is really toilet water. Duh. Tessie Trekkie says the trick with Old Spice is to drink it and embrace the void, embrace the nothingness, the emptiness. All right. Do want to mention, this is a hefty box. I was kind of surprised when this package arrived and I picked it up. I was like, wow, I was like, oh, kind of a heavy box. I opened it up and I'm like, oh, wow, it's Dog Park. I was not expecting this to be as heavy as it is. All right, so we got our rule book. So let's take a look at this. Move that out of the way a bit. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for a ball game today. Although this is not a baseball game, it's about dogs. As the local dog walker, you know there'll be plenty of pups eager to stretch their legs. You better pull on your walking shoes and pack up your treats. It's going to be a busy day. You've decided that you're going to set tails wagging by taking your favorite pups on a trip to the dog park. So players are dog walkers recruiting 8 dogs into their kennel over 4 rounds. Each round, players have the opportunity to walk up to 3 of their dogs through the dog park alongside their fellow players. In the park, players will collect resources and earn reputation. At the end of each round, players will earn reputation for the dogs they have walked and lose reputation for any unwalked dogs in their kennel. Plus, I assume there's going to be a lot of cleanup involved. The goal is to have the most reputation at the end of the game. Players can build a reputation by walking their dogs, scoring in the Breed Expert Awards, and completing their objective. And then we have some, I guess, these little sidebar, these little boxes. We'll share gameplay and strategy. So, showing us our setup. There is a solitaire component to this as well. So you don't necessarily need up to 4 players to play. You can play this solitaire. So we have Breed Expert Awards, location bonus cards, forecast cards. Is that weather forecast, I guess? Then we've got our dog overview, which I believe there are a lot of different dogs, which should be pretty cool. Jason asks, are there any dog poo cardboard chits? I don't think so. I think that's the lost reputation. So, Jason points out nothing beats Axe body spray. Yes, you are a 13-year-old boy. All right, so we've got the breed category, the dog name, the walking cost. I guess these are in treats or like assets that you've got. And the dog has an ability. That's kind of cool. So we got different references as far as icons. So we have sticks, balls, treats, toys, and then kind of a wild, it says any resource. 1 reputation, walked, which is a dog collar, and then blocked. So our actions are swap, swap and walked, and scout. So we had our overview. So we're going to recruit our dogs, select dogs to walk that round, walk the dogs, and then it's Home time. I will say that the artwork in this is very, very well done. And if you are a fan of dogs, I would assume this is on your radar. So we get an example of walking a dog. I guess there's little tweaks for a 2-player game, I guess. Here we go. Here's our solo game rules. As I mentioned, that you can play it solitaire. We've got some variants as well. And then we've got an index describing the dog abilities, forecast cards, as well as the objective cards, and some frequently asked questions on the back. So that is the rule book. Looks pretty straightforward. All in all, I would say, and there's a lot of images inside. The rules themselves, probably 10 pages. Okay, so we have what appear to be discs that I think we probably punch these out. Yep, okay. So this is going to be one side, this is the other side. So these are going to be put together, and then you're going to punch this out, and you'll be able to see these numbers. So I can see that. So these are I think these were the walked tokens that we saw. Then we got the game board. Wait till you see the insert. Very, very cool. As I just took the board out. Let's see what we got here. Pretty good sized board. But not going to take up a ton of room. But I think you also are going to have your own kind of plateau in front of you as well. So this is the park. This is taking the dogs for a walk. So we've got a location deck up here, dog deck up here. There's our breed expert awards. Go there. Looks like we've got a VP tracker or reputation tracker that runs along the side. We have some bonus indicators here as well. Nice thick card for the board here. This should hold up pretty nicely. Here's the insert. Check that out. Okay, so we got a score pad. We have our player. I think these are player markers. I think you use these to indicate your place on the board in the park. So we've got that. We have, these are our resources here. So we've got sticks, we have treats. I think these are supposed to be like balls. So those are our toys. Don't recall what the pink was. So. And then we had the wild as well. So we've got that. These are to put those dials together. Then we've got some, oh no, okay. So these are our tokens that represent us as dog walkers. So we've got 2 in that bag, and it looks like we've got 2 more. I'm going to take a stab that we have a woman walking the dog here. And then we're going to have a man walking a dog on the other 2. Just taking a guess. And that is the case, I think. It is. There you go. It's me wearing my baseball cap. Jason says the game board has some Wingspan vibes. I've never played Wingspan. Somebody gave me a copy of the PC version of it. I haven't had an opportunity to play it. I know a lot of people love it, but then I know there are a handful of people that I have heard from who feel that it is completely overrated. So I don't know. Right, so we've got those. So we've got a bunch of cards. Wow. I know. To be honest with you, I am almost thinking this is maybe a deluxe edition of this game because what, $59.99? This is pretty sweet. This is pretty nice. Decent thickness on the plastic for these, and no doubt we're probably filling it with the different items here. It's like we got a doghouse. Yes. So we got a doghouse. We have a doggy die. Is this a bird? Like a little bird token. I think it is. Yeah, it is. Oh my God, it is Wingspan. Jason says that his wife loves Wingspan. Oh, I'm not knocking it. Like I said, I have not played it. So, and I got to be honest, one of these days I really should check out at least the PC game because I've got it. There's our doggy die. Looks like that is silk screened on there. And this is a lightweight wooden die. So the madman says, no token of Great Dane walking a person. Has been there, was dragged across the lawn as his Dane was chasing a squirrel. I've gotten dragged around by little terriers and that. When they get something in their minds, it's like, holy cow. So what we have here, I think these are player boards. Each of the players. And as you can see, each of the colors correspond somewhatly. So actually, that two of the same color in here? Maybe not. But they look very close. Yeah, they're very close in color. So purple, red, the kind of orange color. I guess I should say orange, not red. And then we also have the yellow. Then we have, oh, these are the little cards, like forecast cards and stuff. We're going to look at the dogs. Don't worry. We'll look at them in just a moment. So I think these are breed experts. Okay, so we've got Gundog, Hound, Pastoral, Terrier, Toy, Utility, and Working Dogs. And then we have, these are our forecasts. Okay. Let's see. During this round, whenever you, I think, swap, place a walked on the newly acquired dog in your kennel. So these aren't really weather forecasts. Huh, that's kind of cool. All right, so that is rather unique. Put those back. But gotta say, really like this insert. This is very, very nice. I know that's not the correct spot, but put those there. So as you can see, we've got like doghouse is going to go there. The little bird token is going to go there. Your discs are going to pop into there. And of course, cover them with those. think that was down in there. We got enough space. It's okay. All right, let's take a look at the dog cards. Let's see what we've got here. We're not going to look at each and every one, but I do want to get a good feel. So first off, these do have a linen finish. Not real thick, I will point out. So this is the first edition of Dog Park, and it contains 4 limited edition alternate art dog cards. Cool. So each of the players is going to get a couple of player aid cards. It's going to show us what to do in the game round. So we have phase 1 recruitment, phase 2 selection, phase 3 walking, and phase 4 is home time. And then we get cards regarding the scoring. There are our resources. Oh, okay. So it was a ball. It wasn't a toy. The pink was the toy. Or I should say fuchsia, really, because that's what it is. Got that. We've got objective cards. Take a look at these. So 4 of a kind. If you have at least 4 dogs of one breed category, you're going to get bonus reputation. Well-walked kennel. So if you have walked tokens on at least 7 different dogs. Capable collectors, of course, these are your objectives that are hidden, I would take a guess. So we do have standard. So when you're first learning the game, you're going to want to use these. And then we actually have experience. Interesting. So we have solo. We actually have some solitaire player aids. That's kind of funny because there are 4 of them. So you'd think you'd only have 1. Okay, so we have locations. These are location bonuses. See what some of these look like. Okay, so are these like bonus resources are located on these spots? Kind of what I'm thinking. Let's move some of these a little bit out of the way so the camera's not struggling to figure out what it should be focusing on. So hopefully the autofocus has been all right at this point. So we have a plentiful park, a rerouted park. So this says this is recommended for 1 to 3 players, and the plentiful park is for a full complement of 4 players. So we've got that. Then it looks like we start getting into the dogs. Let's take a look at a few of these. So we have the Irish Terrier. So their special ability is they're crafty. So we've got different terriers here. So this is a Lakeland Terrier. The West Highland White Terrier. Fancy, fancy, fancy. Which is a stick chaser. And you need to have a couple of sticks and able to go take this dog for a walk, I believe. Okay, so these are the terriers. Got utility. So the poodle, go fetch. Akita. The Keeshond. Where's the Portuguese water dog? Is that going to be in the working dogs? Oh, Doberman. Almost never see Dobermans anymore because of that genetic issue that they have. So I think most people have stopped breeding Dobermans. giant schnauzer, the Flanders dog, German Pinscher. All right, come on. You got to have. I'm just taking a look here. We got a bull mastiff. Talking about the dog walking you. Got to be a Portuguese water dog in here somewhere. I would think they're considered a working dog. Guess not. Wow, that's pretty wild. So, Coco B points out Doberman's, the 70s movie Tough Dog. Yes. You always had in those movies where, somebody's trying to break in someplace, always had Dobermans guarding the place. I think these are the special first edition dogs. The 4 different dogs. So a retriever, pug, the Great Dane. Speaking of Great Danes, there you go, the Madman, and the Siberian Husky. I can't tell if the dog's eyes are 2 different colors. All right, so we've got that, and then we've got another deck, which should be, I would take a guess, I think these are all going to be dogs. Yep. So we'll look at a few of these. Oh, yeah. Here's right there. It's showing the artwork of the 4 dogs on the first edition card. That's cool. Pop that right there. This is pretty wild. I mean, you figure there's a lot of artwork of all these different dogs. That's pretty cool. That's the Italian Greyhound. The Slovakian rough-haired pointer. The Irish Water Spaniel. Got a few different retrievers, quite a few different different spaniels as well. It's the large Mustelander. See, play this and you'll be all ready to go to that Westminster Dog Show. And you'd be like, man, I know all the dogs. So we've got a Spanish water dog. That is not a Portuguese water dog. Very similar look, though. Although Portuguese water dogs tend to be black. I only mention this because my brother and, of course, my sister-in-law, they've had a couple of the Portuguese water dogs because her parents actually breed them. And I guess they've bred some award winners as well. So we got the Whippet. Whip it good. The Deerhound. I gotta say, this looks very, very unique. And I love the fact that we've got all of this different artwork. Sweet. Very, very nice. All right, so let's put all of this stuff back together. So what I would probably recommend, and I know it would take a lot of card sleeves, but if this is a game that you would probably play quite a bit, say you're a dog lover or you have family members who really love dogs, I would definitely recommend picking up some card sleeves. Even though these do have a linen finish. These are very nice. Cardstock is, I'd say it's average. Maybe a little better than average, but still. I know I was reading, somebody had made a comment someplace, and they were talking about they never put card sleeves on their game cards because they don't mind if they get dinged up and chipped because it shows that the game's been played and been loved. Yeah, but the problem is if those cards are meant to be, held where your opponents don't know what the cards are, then having chipped cards and crinkled cards and that probably isn't a great idea. All right, so that's everything from Dog Park, which is from Birdwood Games. Once again, I believe this is the standard edition that we were taking a peek at, although it is the first edition of the game. That's why we had those 4 extra dog cards. It is available right now. Does carry an MSRP of $59.99. And as I mentioned, I believe there are a couple of small expansions that add even more breeds to the game. Pretty wild. All right. So there you have it, Dog Park. And of course, I will have a review in the very near future. So stay tuned. This is the sort of game that I can get people like my mom and my sister-in-law and my niece. These are the kind of games that I can get to the table with them. So Tessie Trekkie said, heckin' good doggos. All right. So before I wrap up, I do want to mention I actually received quite a few items today or over the past few days. And I wanted to put to a vote what you would like me to take a look at this week. So as you already know, I received the Seasons of Mystery. I almost said Seasons of Mysteries, which I was like, that taint the title, Jeff. So I have the Lawson Seasons of Mystery. I got a couple of items from HeidelBAR Games. Hard City, which is the noir role-playing game that I understand a lot of people are very curious about. I've got this. I have the latest release for Jackals. It is good to see HeidelBAR Games continuing to support this Swords and Sandals role-playing game. So this is Travelers on the War Road, which I had shared a news piece about. So I received that. And from my pals over at Cubicle 7 Entertainment, I received Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay Imperial Zoo, as well as the Doctor Who role-playing game starter set. So what would you like to see for the rest of this week? Oh, and I should also point out that I have another of the Osprey role-playing games that recently came out. Neon Noir, I think it's called. So, all right, in chat, if you wouldn't mind. Okay, so Jason wants to see the Vossen book. I'll only give you a minute or two to pop in. So, anybody? Is this thing on? So, Madman says, Doctor Who, Coco B, Hard City. Is there mail-in voting? No, I'm afraid not. I don't mind mail-in voting. That's fine. But if there had been mail-in voting, we wouldn't have known these were actually, in transit over here. Yes, Jason points out, beware the hanging Chad. What did Chad do that we needed to hang him? Mr. IDT says Doctor Who. All right, anybody else want to toss out a vote? So far, I think we got Doctor Who. So we're going to do the Doctor Who starter set. And the Madman, of course, wants to see Doctor Who because they pre-ordered the Doctors and Daleks, which is for 5e. I'm curious how they pull that off. I actually am kind of curious. I don't think it's going to be that difficult. All right. One more moment. And then I'm going to decide. Yes. All right. So on tomorrow's show, we're going to unbox and take a first look at the Doctor Who role-playing game, or I should say, I think it's now titled Doctor Who, the role-playing game. From Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Then on Wednesday, we'll take a look at Hard City from Osprey Games. So we will take a peek at that. And then next week, we'll take a look at Seasons of Mystery and Imperial Zoo and probably Travelers on the War Road. Although there are a few other items that are supposed to be on the way as well. So we'll see what happens. All right, that is it for this time out. Long show, hour and a half. Holy cow. I don't know. We've been running about an hour 20 usually. Anyway, that is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my review of Lex Arcana 2nd Edition, which went live today. Yes, I know I don't normally like to double dip and have more than one video in a day, but I was busy yesterday. I didn't get a chance to put this up like I had planned on. So, if you want to check out my thoughts about Lex Arcana, definitely give this video a watch. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you won't find on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. If you were watching live, thank you very much. If you were watching live and took part in chat, you're a good doggy. Thank you for hanging out in chat, because not only are you keeping me company, you're also keeping each other company while I'm, looking at stuff or reading sell sheet info and things like that. But of course, I know a lot of you out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very kindly. I really do appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy life to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. All right. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is in your neck of the woods. I will be back tomorrow. And here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, that's okay. You don't have to leave just yet. In fact, why don't you subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel right here, or take a peek at the latest live stream, or even find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks again for watching.